Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Steve Breach coming to you here today. The returning Clash of the Champions as a part of the new Raw versus SmackDown brand initiative brought to us with the draft that happened a few weeks ago. Monday Night Raw is running their first exclusive pay-per-view. They are bringing back the name of Clash of the Champions. This, of course, is a playoff of WCW Clash of the Champions from back in the day, or replacing Night of Champions from WWE's past pay-per-view names. To me, honestly, the last Clash of the Champions probably happened in either 1996, maybe 1997. Do you go back and look at a lot of those old Clash of the Champions shows? Of course, most highlighted by... Damn, if I was more professional about making my videos, I would have thought out what I was going to do and grabbed this beforehand, but oh, fuck it, I don't see it. But I brought out the Clash of the Champions best of Sting versus Ric Flair. This was a free show that was on free TV. That was just supposed to, get people more excited in what WCW was doing. By the end, it sort of turned into a farce of what it used to be. The last main event on Clash of the Champions, I believe, is like a tag match of like Scott Hall and Macho Man going against Ric Flair, and I can't even remember who his partner was, but Eric Bischoff basically had the idea of giving away less. They already gave away Nitro, which was, a good show. I'm not sure if Thunder was around at that point, but basically moving in the way of if people want to see matches, they got to pay for it with pay-per-view. And that was a smart idea with having, 12 pay-per-views a year, and bringing in more revenue to the company, even though now when they do things, they talk about the fact that, when they sold pay-per-views, that money didn't even go into WCW. That money went into Turner Home Video. So I don't know what story to believe, but it is what it is. But, Clash of the Champions coming back. I don't think that we're going to get a Ric Flair versus Sting match coming back out of this. But they've put together a show. Honestly, in my mind, WWE has really watered down the company as of right now with the brand split. And when you look at what Backlash was 2 weeks ago, and when you look at what Clash of the Champions is today, you can see that these shows aren't going to be spectacular. I'm sure people are excited that they're getting more money because they're getting more pay-per-views for their $9.99 a month with the WWE Network. But when it comes down to it, you look at this show, there's going to be some good matches, but honestly, in my opinion, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't really mean a whole lot going on here. This show doesn't really blow the doors off of the place. You're highlighting it with your main event and your co-main event, Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. From there, you've also got Roman Reigns going up against Rusev for the U.S. title. You have your first Cruiserweight Championship match in T.J. Perkins versus Brian Kendrick. You've got your final of the best of 7 between Cesaro and Sheamus. Jericho versus Sami Zayn sounds like a very entertaining match if you were going to a house show, but they haven't really done a lot to really build up this match on television, in my opinion. Triple threat for the Raw Women's Championship is going to be Charlotte versus Sasha Banks versus Bayley. And then you've got the New Day versus the Club match, which seems like it's a feud that's going on forever and ever. And then in your opening kickoff match, you have Alicia Fox going up against Nia Jax. We'll basically start from there and we'll work our way down. Talking about all of this. Alicia Fox versus Nia Jax sort of has a subplot of an online storyline where it looks like Alicia Fox might be joining up with Jinder Mahal. Is Jinder Mahal going to be starting a new faction, or is this just something stupid that doesn't really mean anything in the long run? To me, honestly, I love Alicia Fox. Everybody knows about me and her having our Doritos deal, and she being one of the best looking girls, in my opinion, on the roster. Of course, now with Dana Brooke and Becky Lynch, there's a lot of good-looking girls out there. Nikki Bella, I can go on and on. Alexa Bliss. A lot of people are going to give her a run for her money, but there's no way in the world that she's going to stand up to Nia Jax. And even though she is sort of the first person that's going to fall down to Nia Jax running through the women's division, I don't know. there's no way in the world that Alicia Fox is winning this match. It's almost like when Paige won the Divas Championship at WrestleMania 30, and then all of a sudden, her first opponent on a pay-per-view was, I think, Oksana, and then from there it went to the chick that was with Naomi, the Jimmy Snuka, I can't remember what her name is, Tamina. And then from there I went to Alicia Fox. It was like Paige was running through these opponents that all of a sudden became #1 contenders, even though we'd never seen them win matches in our life. But from there we'll go to the New Day going up against the Club. This is a feud that honestly started back at SummerSlam. And Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson being a real tag team coming from New Japan. This is the team that should have won the championship months ago. It's sort of like a now or never deal. I know they did their deal where they acted like they were doctors, and they were, taking out Big E's balls and all that stuff like that, and they were wearing doctor's coats down to the ring. This needs to be a real tag team that's taken seriously. They're not going to start painting their faces like Demolition like they did in New Japan. They're not going to start wearing spikes like Demolition, but they need to be treated like Demolition. They're a badass tag team. The Raw tag team division is already as weak as it is. The New Day has already done everything that these guys can do. I really don't think there's anything left for them. Honestly, in my opinion, the Club needs to take these titles, and they need to happen right now. From there, we go to Charlotte going up against Sasha Banks and Bayley in a triple threat for the Raw Women's Championship. I like the fact that this match is going down. I know a lot of people thought we were actually going to get a one-on-one match between Bayley and Charlotte, and then with the returning Sasha Banks, it looked like that match got taken away from Bayley. Bayley got a win over Charlotte. She deserves to be having a championship shot, so I'm glad that she's getting this. In this match, I think I'm going to pick Charlotte to retain, and maybe we can just sort of see a little bit of a breakup between Bayley and Sasha Banks. This is a match that's going to happen someday, and I'm sure they want this match to happen on a big stage as soon as they can get it there. So hopefully they can sort of save this one-on-one deal. But everybody knows how good Bayley and Sasha Banks play off of each other, whether it's from watching Breaking Ground and seeing how they are friends, or just seeing the NXT specials with them having the match at Brooklyn, or them having the Iron Man match. That's what we want to see. So I'll take Charlotte to retain. Somebody's going to beat her in a one-on-one match, and we'll see from there. Hopefully Sasha will get a championship reign that's better than her first. From there we go to Sami Zayn versus Chris Jericho. Honestly, I think this is going to be a really, really fun match. This is a match that I wish would happen if I was going to a house show. You know that it's going to get some time to sort of eat up this pay-per-view. I'm not thinking that it's going to go 15 minutes, but it'll at least get 10. Honestly, in my opinion, I take Sami Zayn to beat Chris Jericho for the one reason of, I just see Jericho putting him over to sort of, help push him down the line. This match doesn't have anything tied up into it where anybody's going to get a championship shot or anything like that. It's just sort of holding middle ground on the mid-card. So we'll take Sami Zayn to get the win here. Then we have T.J. Perkins going up against Brian Kendrick. With Brian Kendrick, he returned to Raw. They really played up the fact that he's 37 years old. I know that John Cena is older than 37. And I know a lot of the other guys, like Chris Jericho, are older than him as well. So I don't know why they played up on the fact that Brian Kendrick was 37. Maybe for the reason he didn't put himself out there. I know he wrestled for TNA back in 2010. He was a part of that group that he beat Abyss for the X Division Championship. But I'm trying to think, was that during like the Immortal era? Wasn't it Brian Kendrick who sort of stood up to the Hulk Hogan group? I'm pretty sure that's what it was. But, that was a long time ago. But, Brian Kendrick isn't coming fresh out of another company to where people have been seeing him wrestle for New Japan or wrestle for, TNA. He's sort of been out of the limelight. So maybe that's the fact that they're playing this off like he's coming back at such an old age. But it's good that he gets it. Honestly, in my opinion, I've been to a lot of Legends conventions and WrestleCons, Wrestle Reunions. What's the one that they put on here locally? They haven't done it in a while because of WrestleMania 31, and they didn't do one again this year. But I went to two of them, and they were great. And then they were WrestleFest. That's what they were. I've been to a lot of these. Brian Kendrick is one of the nicest guys of all time. I went up to him. I asked him to sign my encyclopedia. I asked him to take a picture with me. And when it was all done, he said no charge. He said it was cool. He said he just was there to meet his fans and say thank you. And, so many of these guys, you can't blame them. They're there to take pictures, or sign autographs, and take money for this, that, or the other, because that's the money that they have coming in. I mean, that's their merch money. So I bought a shirt off him just to give him money, because the guy's cool, and he's on After Dark Radio with Brian Alvarez. He's done Wrestling Observer Live. He's always a really great guest that talks a lot about wrestling. He talks a lot about other weird things around the world, and I find him very entertaining. So I'm glad that he's getting this chance. I don't think that he's going to be around on Monday Night Raw for a long time as a part of the Cruiserweight division. I think that they'll probably, use him up and spit him out, and hopefully he can help these guys. Maybe be a coach, or maybe he can go into being like an agent or something like that. But Perkins is definitely going to be getting the win at the pay-per-view, keeping the Cruiserweight Championship. He just got it. I think this is probably the one guy that they thought they can lean on to have a great match with TJ Perkins, as well as the fact that he could have some name recognition for some people who don't know who the Cruiserweights are, watch the Cruiserweight Classic. Cesaro versus Sheamus is the payoff of the best of 7. Of course, from here we had Sheamus win the first 3 matches, followed by Cesaro going to London, winning the first one, and then winning 2 more after that, tying it up. Who would have thought that a best of 7 would actually go 7 in wrestling? But this is the big payoff. Of course, if Cesaro loses, he is forced to pack his bags and go to SmackDown. The winner of this gets a championship shot, even though it's not said if it is a United States championship shot or if it's a Universal Championship shot. I'm going to go with the ultimate swerve of all time, and I'm basically going to say that Cesaro is going to win this match, take his championship shot that is given to him, because it is not defined what championship it is for, and take it to SmackDown anyways. Basically as a playoff of Shane being smarter than Stephanie, building up on the McMahon family feud that we haven't seen in a while, as well as having something for Mick Foley and Daniel Bryan to sort of bicker over. They made the stipulation, so they're playing off it. They're giving him a championship shot. He would go over and he would fight for the Intercontinental title on SmackDown and stay there. If you go back right after the draft, Cesaro was upset at the fact that he didn't get drafted to SmackDown, because SmackDown is known as the wrestling show. They had a better roster of wrestlers. That's where he wants to be. That's where he'll go. I'll take Rusev to I don't know how Roman Reigns beats him. They got out of this once. They don't want to put that title on Roman Reigns. I know that for a fact. So Roman needs to be able to beat Rusev, but not take the title. They already got over it at SummerSlam with them getting in the all-out brawl. The match never really started, so I don't know. I don't see Rusev beating Roman Reigns. They've already got enough people bitching about things as it is. Kevin Owens, I got him keeping the championship over Seth Rollins. He just got the title. It doesn't make sense for him to lose it so fast, so we'll see what goes down at the Clash of Champions. It's right up around the corner. I'll see you guys down the road.